I'm going with the strategy of get rid of Regina George's Army of Skanks and Rachel's Regina George, and you're one of her Army of Skanks.
Sprinklers.
Game is both thoughts. It's just, writing coattails. I played a very secret game, just kept a lot of attention off of him while playing multiple stuff.
Mind your business, sweetie. Like, you're not even on this tribe. You can worry about me at the merge, or if we have a tribe swap. Then you can try to scheme to vote me out. As of now,
YSUrvivor is a student organization that hosts semester-long survivor games based on the television show of the same name. Although no one's getting marooned in the making of this campus version of the game, and they don't have to worry about actual survival, the main structure of the game remains the same. Each week the tribes compete in challenges, and the losers must vote a member off. It gets even more complicated about halfway through, when the two tribes merge into one tribe and the players are all playing entirely for themselves, trying to win individual immunity in the challenges to keep themselves safe at tribal council where the voting takes place.
Survivor's my life. You took that from me.
Some players' love for the actual show, their interest in strategy, or the fact that they're intermixed with strangers all while having to go about their daily lives in between, turns YSUrvivor into more than just a game.
Because I want to go with my friends in lives. I love you. You're like best friends through Survivor.
Are you doing Global Day tomorrow? The Honors College.
Probably not.
Okay, then can you speed this up because I have...
Drag him. The game requires some underhandedness, but when you have a normal life that you still have to go back to at the end of the day, and you're dealing with real people that you can run into in normal life, the game becomes real.
despite my better judgment, especially from playing with him in previous season on Survivor, I've decided to trust Brandon Fisher, and we have formed an alliance.
I feel it's only right. But I do feel sorry because I don't want to vote anyone.
I know who I like. And I also know who I'm like, well, you know what? I don't like you so much. Oh.
Raven, throughout the game, it kind of seemed like you hated me, Scott, and Brandon. Why? Making allies is just as impactful to the game each individual plays. I've made probably like 16 friends and probably a couple enemies that are now friends. Brandon, a 3-time player and past finalist, told me. That same guy in his first semester of the game came into the game with 3 friends that he had known since middle school or earlier. But he was separated from most of them when the game began and they were split into tribes.
I didn't really realize how serious it was until we swapped tribes. I got to know everyone.
Pre-existing alliances don't matter if you have to survive the game without them. So it forces you to branch out and make new alliances for the time being, just to make it to the merge. That's just what he did. And come merge time, his new alliance and old alliance became one for a while, but eventually, his pre-existing alliance had backstabbed less people and would certainly have more favor with the jury.
I love you so much, but you're gonna beat me.
So he stuck with his new alliance and begun voting out his friends.
I was very hurt when I was voted out. Not because I was voted out, but because I was voted out by Brandon.
Not voting this new ally out until just before the finals.
I'm sorry, Tori.
That's how important forming relationships in this game can be. The difference between a seat in the jury and a seat in the final 3.
You orchestrated the plan to vote Tori out.
And that's just a single example of how intense the dynamics of this game can get.
You can speak.
Correct.
The fact is that there is no choice but to work with strangers at some point, especially when having someone you can trust is a rarity. But that doesn't make it any less a game. go! It's the one thing that separates YSUrvivor from the show most. They aren't on an island together removed from society with nothing else to worry about. The players of YSUrvivor are in school with grades and jobs to worry about, problems at home, and personal issues that are actively a factor in their everyday lives. And on top of all that, they put themselves in this situation where they have to lie and be lied to by other ordinary people. That takes a toll on a person. In an interview with Inside Survivor, a trusted and popular website for Survivor fans to stay up to date with all the latest news and happenings, the creator of another campus version of the game, at the University of Maryland's perspective, lined up with mine for this aspect of the game. He said, given the extended length of the game, Survivor Maryland deals with people battling with real-life stresses, navigating previous and new relationships, struggling with time management. When asked about the difference between his game and the real thing. And it's the same way with YSUrvivor. The two campus games are one and the same, in fact. As with YSUrvivor, most of the players found that whether they liked it or not, Survivor was life-consuming. Whatever their motivation to play hard and win is, it's the fact that the game mixes into their ordinary lives that makes YSUrvivor become more than just a game. It becomes just as much a part of their lives for the semester as going to school or work.
Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Oh, see what happens.
And they form genuine bonds with other players that are sometimes damaged later on for the sake of the game. That's when the game can be taken personally and truly become real.